and gentlemen, the following fight is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds of amateur Muay Thai at 58 kilos. Introducing your first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, representing Jai Suabre, presenting Saul. Introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, representing Belfast Muay Thai, presenting
Second bout of the evening, scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds. Amateur Muay Thai at 58 kilos. Saul Glover fighting out of the blue corner, taking on Aaron Rafferty fighting out of the red corner.
And again, in the first bout, we see the moncon being worn, the headband being worn, and traditionally worn to keep the fighter protected, specifically the head. And what we'll see is later on as we go into the pros, these pratchettes, and these are the bands that go around the biceps. Again, some of the stuff that culturally comes with Thai boxing. Nice fast start.
Oh, not far away with a big hook, but then a lovely shot to the head. There's always an added degree of jeopardy with Muay Thai, especially at a Deliverance show. You don't know if you're going to get blood on your notes, on your clothes, if a fighter's going to end up falling on top of you.
Well, for the second match of the night, and within 5 seconds, a headshot being thrown, that's a good sign. Fantastic knees.
These
really
knees,
like
the trajectory of these knees is he's finding the spot every time.
Fantastic twist. I like that style, that Thai boxing style, the whip around. Designed when we don't have a lot of distance between you and your opponent, so we're creating by getting that knee out and whipping it in.
Because I think there's a little bit of a misconception when people think about knees that they just come at that upward trajectory.
Yeah.
There really is a skill getting that arc into the knee.
Yeah, until they go to Thailand and they spar with people that are some of the Thais that are light, and they whip knees in from every single angle.
Very nice work in the clinch. I often sort of liken that clinch. People forget Muay Thai is also a grappling art in and of itself. That clinch work.
Absolutely, and even something subtle. The guys framing, where they had their hands, is indicative of a good level of training in the clinch. They weren't just holding, they were actually in very good set pieces and frames.
You can already see a little bit of a progression from the first fight with a little bit of lateral movement from the fighters. We're not just moving in straight lines.
Yeah, that's a credit to the matchmaking. It's been like this on the last Langka shows we've worked on.
There's that steady build and skill level.
Yeah.
Beautiful timing on the kick. Head kick.
Very surprised if there's not a background in another martial art. That double kick that was thrown quite early, fake low, hit high, is not really seen a lot or known as a Thai boxing, even though you'll see it in some illustrations of Muay Thai, but generally comes from a karate, taekwondo type background.
You can see Rafferty's a little bit more of that prototypical upright style, but Glover seems to maybe coming from a traditional Western boxing background. He has that chin down, that hands high, that slight curvature.
Win, lose or draw. There's always a huge amount of respect, and that's always been a big draw for me for Thai boxing.
Both fighters still not feeling. Oh, it's a beautiful shot to the body from Glover. Goes up top. There is no tell on that whatsoever.
Not only does Glover have the high kick, he's got that southpaw benefit of being able to throw from them odd angles as well. So it works for him.
Well, southpaws are at a premium. It's very difficult, especially even if you're training through no fault of your own, to find a southpaw to train with.
And not only that, you need more than one, ideally, and that's...
You need to be getting different looks,
Yeah.
Again, beautiful knees from Glover. He needs to be careful of having his posture broken in that clinch.
Absolutely, but you see, I like Rafferty's defense in the clinch. You see him actually stopping Glover trying to frame and change positions, controlling that hand. You can see him there, hand on the inside.
Is that what they're battling for, trying to get those hands on the inside?
They are, and what they train for in the early stages, amateur fighters, is get the framework right and then score second. But it doesn't have to be that sequential. Sometimes you're in the least favourable position, but the goal is to score. So if you're ever feeling like you're being impeded to get to the next position, just sweep, throw the knee, because at the end of the day, you're still in a fight. You don't want to intellectualize it too much. There's a guy trying to hit you in the face.
I really like that head kick that Glover's throwing. He masks it very well. It's very clean fundamentals. He throws the hands and then that comes up behind it. It's beautiful.
I would bet he has martial arts experience, because he doesn't fake. He throws from nearly a static position and it launches like a rocket. So to do that, takes a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers, but it's also confidence to stand there and let that thing go.
Nice hook from Rafferty there, closing the distance. Again, taking part in the clinch. This is where those knees need to come at that curved trajectory. Reversal. Just trading positions. Collie calls for the break.
Rafferty is showing good clinch IQ, but he needs to dominate maybe just a little bit more. And he has to stop Glover from pressing him backwards. We can see him kind of cranking him back. The most dominant position, and you know, even from and that's the difference between when we go from amateur, high-level amateur, and into the pros. Can they make them split-second decisions in the moment?
Again, the hands of Glover, I find, are very, very impressive.
Yeah. We see Rafferty trying to press the aggression factor, but Glover happy to score around the side with them knees. Great knees. I really like that style.
You can see why Rafferty's trying to initiate the clinch, because he doesn't want any part of that southpaw head kick.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in the clinch, both fighters are exchanging knees, and it's very hard to separate them in that regard.
Yeah, and we see like Rafferty is employing the right strategy. Well, not now. He needs to press more and not give Glover space. Glover seems to like to maybe tee things up. Yeah, there we go. Rafferty needs to press and try to get some points either on the inside or putting Glover on the back foot.
And again, it may, to the uninitiated, when you're in that clinch position, it may look like nothing's necessarily happening, but it's two opposing forces upon one another.
Yeah, yeah. And what you may see is two fighters scrambling to get two hands in around the neck. So what we'll call full tight clinch. And this really comes into effect in pro, because you can pull the person's head, or B-class pro, pull the head down for a knee. But it's something that amateurs learn how to do now, is to try get the hands around the neck, pull them in. So obviously amateur, we can only hit to the body. Fantastic lead check hook, or lead hook from Rafferty.
You can see, and I think this is an advancement of just combat sports in general, southpaw fighting and orthodox, that getting your foot in the outside isn't it's a little bit of a misnomer nowadays. It's not necessarily the prerogative of the fighter.
Yeah. Like, we're seeing a clash of styles here. I would say this is actually quite a technical match for a southpaw and orthodox amateur match. But that knee, Glover's knee, could play an instrumental part in the scoring.
Could that be the difference maker?
Yeah, I think it could be. Because you've got to remember, the rubric is scoring. The framework of scoring is effect and volume, dominating the ring. Now, a little bit further down the criteria is Thai style.
Oh,
so
okay.
If the judges reckon it's a one-for-one match, it's a trade-off, close to a draw, they will, they have to, from the rule set, is to go to that Thai style.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to your judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have scored the fight in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, fighting